Hi, good morning, Village of Venetia. Welcome to summertime. This is, the second week of June, and beginning summertime schedules out in the Village of Venetia. Busy, busy time, to be sure. Activities every night of the week if you want to come out and be a part of our village there, which is about, it's like 788, 780, that block of Venetia Road. If you start at the country store right there, and go to the Wright House Museum and the Museum of Western Expansion. It takes in, I don't know, maybe about 3 or 4 city blocks, but probably a quarter of a country mile. So stop and visit us anytime in the Village of Venetia. Now, let me tell you about some of the things that we've already done and some of the things that are going on even right this week. We're excited about the Wright Company, which used to be the Abbey Players. 2 years ago, they came to us and said, would you mind hosting us, this great theater company? It's been in existence, gosh, maybe 16, 17 years now. Some of the kids that started when they were small have now graduated from high school and are now in college. But the beginning of May, they did Shrek Junior, the musical, and oh my goodness, it was fantastic. As all their shows have been. Last fall, they did Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. Before that, last summer, they did Schoolhouse Rock. And if you remember that, like I remember that from the 1970s, the commercials that they used to have during the cartoons, oh my goodness, they were so, I could sing along with some of those songs, and it's been, man, 50 years, but fantastic. And so every production they do. This week, they just started last night in the production of Into the Woods. Now, that's a big show. Music by Stephen Sondheim. That's a difficult show. They're doing the junior version, which means that they'll go, if you know the show, they'll go up to halftime. But if you know the full score and the full show, everything goes well up to halftime, and then things disintegrate after that in the second half of the show. So you're going to get the feel-good parts of Into the Woods. And it's all the, Jack and the Beanstalk, I think, is in there. Who else? The Butcher, the Baker, the Candlestick Maker, all these wonderful things that you remember, the fairy tales. These main characters are in there. The Big Bad Witch, the Wicked Witch, she's there. In fact, my middle child, I think Atlas is playing that part. Milky White, the cow that belongs to the baker or the Jack, I'm not sure. That's my smallest, Abigail, is going to be Milky White in that production. And gosh, Nicole and Laura do fantastic, both directors of the Wright Company, and will pack the place out as we do every time they do a show. And so that performance is this Friday at 7 o'clock. I'm not sure how you get tickets. You may want to go to the Wright Company website and look that up. I need to get more diligent on my part since we're hosting him and all these great musical events and theatrical events throughout the summer. I mean, it's so cool to be able to be a part of all this. In fact, last night, while they were beginning rehearsals in the Wright Company, one of our other groups that we're so proud of, the South Hills Children's Choir, was singing in New York City at Carnegie Hall. Now, they use our venue on Thursdays every week, and so their home is with us at Wright United Methodist Church, and they are just I can say, a world-class choir of children and youth, and they were in Carnegie Hall by invitation last night to sing at a concert in New York City. And so they'll be back home, and I think they take a little bit of a break, and then they do a choir summer camp, not at our place, but at another venue. Yeah, look for their concerts, South Hills Children's Choir. In fact, if you have a child of that age group, I think they start maybe at 8, and then go up to high school. Get in touch with them. Go to their website. You don't want to miss that. Jenny Nolan, their director, is, that's what I've told my kids, don't give up the choir, because you're learning so much technique of breathing and projection and its vocal acuity and listening. Listening is such an important part of music if you're going to be a part of music. Anyone can sing, karaoke. the background music, but and you hear a lot of bad acts in that way. But to sing with a choir, to sing with a community, a group, you got to pay attention, and they'll teach you to do that. It's it's like playing on a sports team. You learn sportsmanship. Speaking of sports teams, every night of the week, you can come to the Village of Venetia any night of the week, and you'll find baseball, Little League. I think the Mustangs play there, 7-year-olds, and then even T-ball. 4 years ago, they put in 2 more fields down in our complex, and so we have the preeminent baseball complex in Peters Township in the area. Host to many tournaments. That we're always excited that they come, but every night of the week, our parking lot at the community center right next door at the Peters Township Heritage Center, the old Venetia School, is packed, and that's exciting. So when, i.e., Friday night that's coming up, you'll have the church lot absolutely packed, 170 people coming into the sanctuary. You'll have the parking lot next door at the Heritage Society, the old Venetia School building. That parking lot will be packed with 4 different fields going on. And so lots of folks, lots of joy, lots of ways to spend your summer vacation. And we just began, for goodness sake, and it's only Tuesday, the first week as school has let out. We began a concert series 10 years ago when we moved to the Village of Venetia, and we call it the Brown Bag Concert Series. And we've been doing it for 10 years. Every Wednesday during the summer of June and July, we have a free concert. It used to be outdoors, but the traffic on Venetia Road has gotten so heavy that we've moved it indoors now for the past couple of years. But we do have an outdoor pavilion if we need to do that. The new Venetia Starlight Amphitheater is there, and it's a beautiful 16 by 16 stage, covered stage with lights outside. But our concert series, the women from the church, they put together a $5 lunch. So it started last week. We had a country group, it was the Osborne Brothers, or maybe it was myself and Laura. We played last Wednesday. This Wednesday, you'll get to see a glimpse of the Wright Company and Into the Woods. What their rehearsals have been so far. Wednesday at noon this week, you'll get to see them. Next week, you don't want to miss next week. If you like Sinatra, you like Tony Bennett, you like Dean Martin, the big band sounds, Anthony Luisi will be with us next Wednesday right at noon. So you don't even have to tell us that you're coming. It would be helpful so we know how many people to prepare for. But just come to Wright Church, historic Wright's Church. That building goes back to 1924. And so we're excited that you'll be there with us. You'll get a lunch, you get a free concert, and next week Sinatra will be there. Then after that, just a variety of entertainment throughout the summer. July the 3rd, that's a Wednesday. Crimson Stream is normally with us, and that's the preeminent gospel group in the tri-state area. They're normally with us that first week of July, and we're looking forward to them. July the 10th, that Wednesday, the group Mary Poppins Jr. Will be with us on that free concert with lunch provided. And then again on the 24th of July, the Aristocats, they'll be performing. And so it's just a variety of entertainment every Wednesday from noon to 1. Come a little bit early, about 11:30. You want to make sure that you get a seat, but it's a great lunch, dessert, watermelon. It's just all the good things of summer that you can think about. We try to make that opportunity for you right in the Village of Venetia, and that's so exciting. So how are we going to do Mary Poppins? How are we going to do the Aristocats? The other theater group that meets this summer. They've been doing it for 5 years, right at historic Wright's Church, and that's Kathy's Music. Kathy's Music has 2 studios, one in Mount Lebanon, and then one right there in McMurray, right by the subway. If you've got children that you're interested from 3-year-olds on up, interested in developing their music skills, even starting at 3. Now that's when I started. I started playing the guitar at 5 years old, and I'm still playing the guitar today. But get in touch with Kathy's music. And for goodness sake, Kinder Music starts them out that small. They're doing piano camps this week. They're doing musical camps this week. But the last 5 years, they've been doing music theater camps. And we've been hosting them right in the village of Venetia. So that second week of July, 8th through the 12th, it's Mary Poppins Jr. And I think that's for the older kids to come and to audition. I think, and then they'll have rehearsals every day from the 8th through the 12th of that week of July. And then on the 12th, they put on a performance at 6:30. Same thing for the younger kids. Kathy's music. The Aristocats, that's July 22nd through the 26th. They'll rehearse every day, and then a performance at 6:30 on that Friday night, the 26th. The very week after that, the Wright Company comes back again with a junior show for kids, Frozen in Summer Adventure Camp. Now, we already saw Frozen Junior at the middle school this past year. If you saw that show, it was amazing, as all the productions, theater productions that go on at Peters Township Middle School and the high school and the Wright Company. But that last week of July, the 29th through August the 2nd, Frozen in Summer Adventure Camp, and this is for little kids. They did a Cinderella story, I think, last year, these little ones, I mean 3, 4, 5-year-olds, and it was just charming and just wonderful. And they'll be with us again the last week in July. Plus, give us a little snapshot at that noon, part of the Brown Bag Concert Series that we do all summer long. So you don't want to miss all the activities that are going on. Baseball every night of the week. Come on and see that on Wednesdays during the summer. You don't want to miss that. The Train Club, the Dare Train program, meets in the old schoolhouse on the 3rd floor. If you haven't seen their train displays, take time to see that, maybe even sometime this summer. I believe they're there like from 9 to noon every Wednesday in the summertime. If the heat doesn't get above 90, there's no air over there, and they're in the top floor of that building. It gets very, very hot as it gets very, very cold in the wintertime. But come in 2 years, we'll be celebrating a 100-year anniversary of that school right next door to us. I think they stopped teaching there, I think in 1993, the last class that graduated through there. But the school is now, operated by the Venetia Heritage Society. The Girl Scouts meet there. Several different age groups. The Train Club, Railroad Club meets there. We've got another homeschool program that meets there. Plus, there's an opportunity if you've got an event coming up. We have a big event room over there with a kitchen that really so much a catering kitchen. Come in and you could be a part of history in the making. We're excited about the new landscaping that's going on outside. One of the parents of one of the train people, one of the train kids, has come to help out with landscaping next door, and so it's always tough to kind of keep up with the outsides of these buildings as we do the insides of the building too. And I know that same thing where we're at right next door at Historic Rites Church, keeping the grass cut and keeping the flowers planted. In fact, that's what today is. Today being Tuesday, the 11th, is National Poison Ivy Day. It's not really. I think Donuts Day. I think every day there's something. But today, what we're going to take care of, because it's still going to be kind of cool in the 70s, I can dress up in gloves and mask and everything and take care of the rampant poison ivy weeds that are going on. So I'm not doing it when it's 90 degrees. That's this afternoon. Come on by, drop on by Historic Rites Church. If you know anything about poison ivy, if you want to kill it, you want to stab it, whatever you want to do. But if you're allergic to it, don't come. But we're going to try and annihilate that so the building can continue to stay safe and wonderful for all the events. I mean, oh my goodness, there's no other place there is no other place in Peters Township, in Union Township, in Nottingham, in this area that has the theater opportunities that music theater for children that we have for the summer. 4 separate camps, which is fantastic. Plus just a choir camp for South Hills Children's Choir, Kathy's Music, The Right Company. And I don't want to leave out, if you don't have a place to worship on Sunday morning, we invite you to come be with us. Our service is there at 9:30? It is 9:30 every Sunday morning at Historic Rites Church. The history of us, 1823. We started as a congregation. In fact, what we talked about is there's a tornado that appears in Venetia every 100 years. Now, in 1923, a tornado came through, destroyed the old church, and we had to build a new church, which is where we're at right now, in that building, built in 1923. A month ago, a tornado came through Venetia again, every 100 years, and took the steeple off at not our church this time, but Crossroads Ministry out there above tracks, and tore up some buildings out that way. Luckily, nobody was hurt, but they were having service. It was a Saturday night, and they were having service there. The next, after the storm, I went up there. I'm a certified emergency response volunteer with United Methodist Church. I wanted to make sure everybody was okay. Talked to the pastor up there. They were already in the cleanup, rebuilding process. We weren't hit this time, but 100 years ago we were. But we reached out in love and kindness to another congregation that did suffer damage in their building. But fortunately, nobody was hurt. And all these crazy storms going on just all over the place. I mean, when we walk the dogs in the morning in the beautiful village of Venetia, we take a moment and have some coffee, and then we wonder, we look at the weather that morning. It's not going to rain, and doggone it, I think it rains every day in our place. It wasn't supposed to rain yesterday, and we had some raindrops in the village of Venetia. So, but that keeps the flowers watered, and keeps the grass green, and keeps just a lovely atmosphere. Come spend your summer with us. We've got some even bigger plans into the future. For us, things that are coming up in the fall festival that we initiated some 10 years ago too. We had a quilt show back in April with 75 quilts. They were beautiful. The Three Rivers Quilting Guild came and helped us. These folks are wonderful. I mean, they do it for pretty much really a hobby, but almost they could do it for a living. And those folks meet over at the Baldwin Methodist Church, and so I went over there and talked to them a few of the weeks in between, and I said, could you help us with this quilt show? We did it 7-8 years ago, but we did it again, and it was very successful, very, very colorful. And so it's those kind of events. I was hoping and that's been the plan all along, the 10 years we've been here, do something once a quarter. To bring people in to see the history. Peters Township began right where we're at in the village of Venetia. 1762, the Wright boys came up from Harrisonburg, Virginia, to come to Venetia Road, which wasn't there at the time, but to build that cabin on Venetia Road. They came from one part of Virginia to another part of Virginia. In 1762, we were still Virginia here. And you think about it, Washington Jefferson College, W&J in Washington, PA, was named after Washington and Jefferson, both who made trips to Washington, PA, when it was just a crossroads. And the whole history of the Whiskey Rebellion and all that, I think that comes up in July. But all that history, and a lot of it is intertwined with what we do in the village of Venetia. If you haven't been to the Wright House, we celebrated 200 years of that building, 8 years ago. And then the cabin behind it, 1762, that's before the Revolution. lots of history right there. And of course the Wright House, those boys that came up from Harrisonburg, Virginia, established Wright's Church. One of the sons of them, I think the grandson, then they built this church for this guy to be a pastor. He felt called to ministry. And so preaching began in our community, 1823. Not the oldest church around. I mean, you could go to Mingo, and they could tell you firsthand stories of the Whiskey Rebellion there, when Tom the Tinker and all those guys were there. If you love history, I'm a history kind of guy. And so we're living right in the written and oral history of Peters Township, of western Pennsylvania, of Virginia, whatever you want to call it, the crossroads of early colonial America, all come together right there in the village of Venetia. And so come and explore. You know, I tell all the the folks that come into Historic Wright's Church to see any of the theatrical community that are going on at the time. And again, we'll have 4 opportunities this summer for you to come into Historic Wright's Church, you know, experience Mary Poppins Jr., the Aristocats, Into the Woods, Frozen in Summer Adventure Camp. I mean, and those were just 4 of the things. Every Sunday morning, it's a fantastic walk down memory lane we do music, of course we do scripture, and you hear some of the local history, because that's what I put into the sermons I give. And if you can't come to Wright's Church at 9:30, come on up to Edwards Chapel at 11 o'clock. Edwards Chapel, the corner of Chapel Hill Road and 136. That church goes back to 1784. 1784, John Wesley, founder of Methodism, ordained Francis Asbury, a couple folks over there in England. They sailed for America. The first convening conference of what was just the Methodist Church in America, Christmas Eve, 1784. Out of that came Edwards Chapel, and so very historic place up there, and I'm blessed to be a part of both of those congregations, and some fine people, to be sure. So all of this music, all of this sports events, or just come to the village. If you see any smoke coming up from any grills there, that means I'm either cooking in the back by the garage, or I'm cooking up on the deck. You're welcome. You're welcome to stop by. Have a burger, have a sausage. We always got plenty of food. Each and every Wednesday, plenty of food for you to come join us for our brown bag concerts, starting again this week, for every Wednesday in June and July. Just an opportunity to come and stretch your legs, enjoy the village. Come, just come. I get to watch Andy Griffith every morning. If you get that on the Sundance Channel. Mayberry. If you've never been there either, Mount Airy, North Carolina, that's a trip to make. I've been there once on my way to a workshop down in Myrtle Beach. Went through that part of out of Virginia, right there in North Carolina. That was Andy Griffith's hometown. And one of my professors at West Virginia Wesleyan, Dr. Bobby Loftus, and Andy Griffith went to school together down there in Mount Airy. And he had the best accent. And Dr. Loftus was just a wonderful, wonderful music teacher. And and I had a chance to go there, gosh, about 6 years ago. I think it was in February, or it might have been November. I was in Myrtle Beach twice within 6 months. I stopped and went to Snappy's Lunch Counter there. Snappy's is the only real place, actually business, that is named in the Andy Griffith Show for the first year, because it is part of Mount Airy. You can go there today, sit at the counter, and the suggestion to me was get a pork chop sandwich and a Coca-Cola. They give you that 6-ounce Coke in an original Coke bottle, and a bag of chips, pork chop fried sandwich that you can look back in the kitchen and see them cook, and it's just a wonderful experience. Well, you take that hometown Mayberry experience and you say, where can you find it in western Pennsylvania? Village of Venetia. We try to do that right there. So everybody feels welcome, and everyone can come and be a part of all the activities that we got going on. So starting this Wednesday, and each Wednesday for the summer, noon to 1. Come on out for concerts. Sometimes it's a half of a musical production of kids from many ages. Next week, Sinatra will be there. Anthony Luisi, one of our graduating seniors here from Peters Township High School. He has sung there before. I've seen him in stage, lots of stage opportunities. This guy has got it down. The Sinatra, Dean Martin, Tony Bennett, the genre of music is fantastic, and so you don't want to miss that. That's on the 19th. That's next Wednesday. Kathy's Music, 2 music theater camps. One second week of July, the 8th through the 12th. Another the 22nd through the 26th. The Wright Company, 2 music camps. One this week, the 10th through the 14th, Into the Woods. Performance 7 o'clock Friday night. And then the last one on July 29th through August the 2nd, Frozen in Summer Adventure Camp. So just men, there's no reason not to come to the Village of Venetia this summer. Beep the horn as you go by, and we'll be glad to greet you anytime there. Maybe you're part of the ball teams that meet for T-ball, or I think Mustang League over there, or maybe you're coming to the train club or the Girl Scouts there in the Venetia Heritage Society building right next door, or maybe you're coming to the Wright House. Go to that website. Look at some of the open houses that are coming. So you can tour the cabin, you can tour the house, and be a part of history of America. And it all begins right here in the Village of Venetia. Look for the other festivals around the area. I saw a sign on my way over here this morning. The concerts in Peterswood Park on every Wednesday evening in the summertime. Fantastic. But when you see that, it says Peterswood Park concert Wednesday evening, think about Wednesday noon. A concert, Village of Venetia, every Wednesday this summer. Come on out for that. So, hey, we'll see you around the village. And as our good, my mentor, Mr. Roger would say, it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. And it can be a beautiful day. And it will be when you come and join us. So, see you this summer. Y'all come. See you then.